स्वागत. आणि आपण ह्या महिन्यामध्ये काहीतरी वेगळं काम करणाऱ्या लोकांशी बोलतोय. आता हा 5वा शनिवार आहे आणि या शनिवारी म्हणजे ही शेवटचा आपला या महिन्यातल्या या थीमचा शेवटचा शनिवार आहे आणि आपल्याबरोबर आज कौस्तुभ राडकर आहेत. तर कौस्तुभ राडकरांचा माइंड जिमवरती मनापासून स्वागत. आणि त्यांच्या व्यस्त शेड्यूलमधनं त्यांनी आपल्याला हा वेळ दिला आहे त्याच्याबद्दल मनापासून धन्यवाद. ही जी काही आपण ही सत्र या महिन्यामध्ये ठेवली होती याच्या मागचं कारण असं होतं की वेगवेगळ्या पद्धतीने वेगवेगळ्या पॅशन घेऊन काम करणाऱ्या लोकांबरोबर जर का आपण गप्पा मारल्या किंवा त्यांचे अनुभव ऐकले तर आपल्या आजूबाजूला सध्या जी काही निगेटिव्हिटी पसरलेली आहे त्यातनं आपण थोडे बाजूला होऊन एक सकारात्मक आयुष्य जगू शकू हा त्याच्या मागचा एक मुख्य उद्देश होता. आणि आपण खूप छान या 5ही जणांना भेटलो आणि अतिशय मोटिवेटिंग असं आपल्याला या सगळ्या महिन्याभरात काही काही गोष्टी आपल्याला मिळाल्या आणि एक उत्साह आपला वाढला. आणि आज याच्यावरती कडी म्हणजे कौस्तुभ राडकर आपल्या बरोबर आहेत. कौस्तुभ राडकरांची एक फॉर्मल ओळख मला करून द्यावीशी वाटतेय कारण बऱ्याच लोकांना ते माहिती नसणारे आणि मग म्हणजे फॉर्मल ओळख करून देणं हे सुद्धा एक मोठं काम आहे असं मला वाटलं जेव्हा मी त्यांचा बायोडाटा वाचला त्यावेळी. पण मला असं वाटतं की एक फॉर्मल ओळख करून देते आणि मग त्यांच्या बोलण्यातून या सगळ्याची स्पष्टता अधिक होऊ शकेल. तर त्यांची फॉर्मल ओळख मी करून देते. 25 वेगवेगळ्या देशामध्ये फुल आयर्न मॅन ट्रायथलॉन करणारे ते एकमेव भारतीय. 2017 साली कोना हवाई येथील आयर्न मॅन वर्ल्ड चॅम्पियनशिप पूर्ण करणारे ते परत एकमेव भारतीय. साऊथ आफ्रिकेमधील सुद्धा आयर्न मॅन चॅम्पियनशिप पूर्ण करणारे ते एकमेव भारतीय होते. 6 खंडातून आयर्न मॅन चॅम्पियनशिप पूर्ण करणारे एशियामधील ते पहिले खेळाडू. 2015 साली आयर्न मॅन कोच म्हणून त्यांची निवड भारतामध्ये झाली आणि अशा प्रकारचे कोचिंग करणारे ते एकमेव भारतीय आहेत. 90 इंडियन ॲथलेट्सना कोचिंग देऊन त्यांना आयर्न मॅन पूर्ण करण्यात यशस्वी त्यांनी केलेले आहे. 2016 सालच्या अल्ट्रा मॅरेथॉन मधील ते फास्टेस्ट इंडियन होते. त्यांनी फुटबॉल प्लेयर्स, टेनिस प्लेयर्स व क्रिकेटियर्स यांच्यासाठी मेंटॉर म्हणून काम केलेलं आहे. 2008 ते 2013 सालापर्यंत जॉन्स हॉपकिन्स हॉस्पिटलमध्ये रिहॅबिलिटेशन एक्सपर्ट म्हणून ते काम करत होते. कॅन्सर आणि हार्ट डिसीजच्या पेशंटना शारीरिक व मानसिक पुनर्वसन करण्यासाठी रॅडरॅक्स नावाची कंपनी त्यांनी सुरू केली. ते त्याचे सीईओ आहेत. रॅडस्ट्रॉंग कोचिंग कंपनीचे हॅलो, कोणाचा तरी ऑडिओ ऑन आहे, प्लीज बंद करता. कोणाचा तरी ऑडिओ ऑन आहे, प्लीज बंद करता, डिस्टर्ब येत आहे. योगिनी तू तो बंद करते सगळ्यांचा, मी माझा ऑन करते.
मी परत म्यूट ऑल करू का, कारण होत नाहीये.
हो, म्यूट ऑल कर, चालेल.
हा, तू अनम्यूट करून बोल.
हो, सॉरी फॉर द डिस्टर्बन्स. पण परत एकदा सांगते, 2008 ते 2013 सालापर्यंत जॉन हॉपकिन्स हॉस्पिटलमध्ये रिहॅबिलिटेशन एक्सपर्ट म्हणून ते काम करत होते. कॅन्सर आणि हार्ट डिसीज असणाऱ्या पेशंटचे शारीरिक व मानसिक पुनर्वसन रॅडरेक्स नावाची कंपनी करण्यासाठी त्यांनी रॅडरेक्स नावाची कंपनी चालू केली. ते त्याचे सीईओ आहेत. रॅडस्ट्रॉंग कोचिंग कंपनीचे ते फाउंडर आहेत. याच्या अंतर्गत आयर्न मॅन, ट्रायथलॉन, रनिंग आणि सर्वसाधारण आरोग्य याविषयी ते मार्गदर्शन करतात. वेगवेगळ्या शाळा, कॉलेजेस, कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर येथे ते मोटिवेशनल स्पीकर म्हणून जात असतात. असा हा काय म्हणूया त्याला आपण, वेगळा माणूस आज आपल्याबरोबर इथे आहे. आता मी त्यांच्या हातात सूत्र देते आणि कृपया आपापले ऑडिओ आणि व्हिडिओ प्लीज बंद करा, म्हणजे आपल्याला त्यांचा ऑडिओ आणि व्हिडिओ चांगल्या पद्धतीने ऐकू येईल. तर जरा काळजी घेऊन आपापले ऑडिओ आणि व्हिडिओ बंद करा. कौस्तुभ राडकर, तुमचं मनापासून स्वागत माइंड जिमच्या या प्लॅटफॉर्मवर. आणि मी आता सूत्र तुमच्या हातात देते.
ओके, थँक्यू व्हेरी मच. माझा ऑडिओ आहे? आय होप आय एम ऑडिबल.
हो 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 आहे.
आणि माय स्लाइड्स आर विजिबल?
Yes,
Oh.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
Oh.
So thank you very much. My plan is very, very simple. I will talk for 35 minutes. And I'll be happy to take any questions that you may have. I think the easiest way is to put them in the chat window. I've already had people post something. The title of my talk is Power of Self-Belief, because I think it is very, very pertinent to who I am as a person, and very, very pertinent to the unfortunate situation we are in right now. खूप लोकांना आयर्नमॅन म्हणजे काय एक्झॅक्टली नंबर्सवरनं माहिती असतं, but there is a lot of things that happen behind the scene that the numbers don't tell. The first thing first is that the race starts with a 3.8 kilometer swim, and this swim is not done in a swimming pool. It is done in anything besides, so a river, a lake, or an ocean. This swim portion has a cutoff time. So it's not that you can swim for 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is, whatever time it takes you to do the 3.8 kilometers. There's a hard cutoff of 2 hours, 20 minutes. If you don't meet it, Ironman is a very cruel organization. They stop you right away. On the swim, the water temperatures can be as cold as 13 degrees Celsius, and they can be as hot as 25 plus degrees Celsius. If the water temperature is cold, we get to wear our special suit. So if you see in the picture, that's the suit which makes us buoyant, but also protects us from the cold. So this is called a wetsuit. It is important to note that in most countries, especially Europe, North America, the water temperature is between 13 to 15 degrees. And when you are in the water beyond 1 hour, for a lot of people, swimming is their weakest. So they are in the water roughly 1 hour, 30 minutes to 2 hours. You have a chance of being hypothermic. Your body temperature drops. So the wetsuit is also giving you an additional layer to protect you. And that's the importance of the wetsuit. When you're done with the 3.8 kilometer swim, you have a small transition, which is what we call it, where you run, pick up your cycle, and then the next set is to ride 180.2 kilometers. So roughly, if you're sitting in Pune, you would ride from, let's say, Kothurud all the way to Mumbai and then come back towards Panvel. For most races in Ironman, the roads are closed for traffic, although there are some races, especially in Asia, where traffic is allowed, like races in Malaysia, where they cannot cut off the entire route. They allow a few two-wheelers or four-wheelers to pass athletes. Just like the swim, there's a cutoff time for the bike as well. You don't get the whole day to ride 180 kilometers. The cutoff time again is a strict cutoff time of 7 hours 50 minutes to a max time of 8 hours 10 minutes. So the race typically starts at 7 in the morning. You have 2 hours 20 minutes to do the swim, and then maximum of 8 hours 10 minutes to do the bike. So 10 and a half hours, which is roughly 5:30 in the afternoon. You should be off your bike. The big thing about the Ironman bike is that it is self-supported, which means if you have a puncture or you have a mechanical issue or your chain falls off, it is expected that you will fix it yourself. In each race, there is anywhere between 1,500 to 2,000 athletes. A common question I get asked is this race like the Tour de France, where an athlete has a puncture or some issue and the sag wagon pulls right next to them, couple mechanics come down and fix it? No, nothing like that. They have 2 or 3 sag wagons on the course. The wagon passes you, then they can help you. Maximum times it is expected you will fix the puncture or the mechanical issue by yourself. We use very, very special high-end bikes. As you can see, this is the bike. This is my latest bike, which I've had now for the last 3 years. This is called a triathlon bike. My are resting on something called aero bars. Those aero bars are specifically designed to protect protect us from the headwinds, because headwinds will make life miserable for any athlete. We want to be aero to cut through the wind and minimize resistance. Once you are done with the 3.8 kilometer swim and the 180.2 kilometer cycle, the next task for you is to run 42.2 kilometers. This is usually called the marathon. If you run it solo, again, the maximum time, just like the swim and the bike, there's a maximum cutoff time for the marathon as well. Again, like I said before, if you're not able to meet the bike cutoff, you're not allowed to go further. The maximum time is 6.5 hours. Obviously, if you finish before, that's what your goal is. It is said that in an Ironman race, it's the run which is the most crucial, and it's one of the most mentally challenging things athletes ever endure. The run is where your Ironman dreams are either realized or unfortunately they fall apart. When you do all three of them in order, so because Ironman was started in America, they use miles. It is done in 2.4 miles, which translates to 3.8 kilometers. You cycle 112 miles, which translates to again 180 kilometers, and then you run 26.2 miles, which translates to 42.2 kilometers. You can brag the rest of your life. That's the Ironman motto, which is inscribed at a huge rock in Kona, Hawaii, where the World Championship takes place. Just to give you a little background, Ironman started in 1978 because there was a Marine couple in the US, John and Judy Collins. They wanted to create the toughest one-day event in the world, which would then separate athletes that felt that swimmers or runners or cyclists were the strongest athletes in the world. They wanted to create one event where the toughest of the toughest compete and then get to brag for the rest of their life. In 1978, there were 10 athletes who participated. Like I already said, on an average Ironman race now, there's anywhere between 1,500 to 2,000 athletes that take part. The race is held across 6 continents. Unfortunately, Antarctica cannot hold an Ironman yet. Maximum allocated time is 17 hours, but there are some races in Europe like Ironman Frankfurt, Ironman Kalmar, where the cutoff time is 15 hours and 16 hours, and that's because of the city crowd gathering limits. The World Championship is held in Kona, Hawaii on the second Saturday of October each year. It is an invite only, as any World Championship is. There's 2 ways to qualify. You have to race an Ironman and be very, very fast, that you finish top 3 or top 4 in your age group. Back, you can do them one every year, and you get what's called an Ironman Legacy slot. And that's the way I qualified for the World Championship. I did my first Ironman in 2008 while I was working for Johns Hopkins Hospital full time. And then from 2008 to then last year, 2021, I finished my 25th Ironman. So on average, I was hitting 1 Ironman a year for the first 5 years. And 2013 is the first time I did 2. And then 2014, I did 3, and so on and so forth. I've always felt that all our journeys, whatever the distance, whatever the miles, kilometers, it starts with a single step. And for me, that single step started when my parents put my sister and me to go to Tuyak Tank to learn swimming. And I was 8 years old when I started swimming. And initially, the first 2 years swimming was just basic life saving, just learning different strokes, trying to, you can say, get medals at the district level. I was actually very bad my initial years. Up until age 11, I did not even win 1 medal. But my parents did not want me involved in, a famous sport like cricket or tennis. And two, I always felt that I was very, very close to a medal. And I was willing to work harder than anyone else around me. And all that hard work paid off. So when I was 12 years old, I won my first medal for Pune district. And by 13, I had become national swimming champion for the first time. So 5th May 1995, I won the gold medal in the 400 meters freestyle in Calcutta. And it's very easy to remember that day because it was my birthday. So you can never forget winning a gold medal, your first one on your birthday. From then, really, my swimming career took off. From 1995 to 2000, I was Indian national champion, at least in one event. I was record holder at Pune, at Maharashtra State, and obviously at nationals for several years. I represented India at several Asia Pacific championships. But in 2000, I wanted to take my swimming career to the next level. And had approached a couple American universities. One of them had decided to give me a little bit of a scholarship. So in 2001, January, I landed up going to Indiana University of Pennsylvania, a small Division II school very close to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I landed up swimming for them from 2001 to 2004. To give you a little bit of a in India, because I was a national champion, everything was easy, right? So I did not necessarily have to attend school. I either went late or left early. In college in BMCC, I think in 11th, 12th, and FY, I probably attended 10 lectures during the year. That's about it. It was completely different in the US. To even have a NCAA card to represent your university, you needed a standard GPA. For me, for me personally, I had two advantages. So the harder I worked in swimming, the more medals I got for my university, my scholarship went up. But I had another advantage that if I got good grades, I also got to be an academic scholar, which in turn also increased my scholarship. So from 2002 to 2004, I was all-American scholar, all-academic scholar, and then I made the Dean's List as well. I want to stress this point is because a lot of times we look at athletes who are only athletes. And it was the same with me as well. But I was fortunate to be in a position where I was working not only on my swimming, but I was also working on my educational career as well. And in 2004, again, after I graduated from Indiana University of Pennsylvania, I had been picked up by University of Wisconsin for a highly competitive master's program in clinical exercise physiology. And in 2005, I was so bored of just swimming. There was just not enough opportunity to swim. As college was hectic, internships were hectic. You had to do homework, you had to do lab work. I was also doing a master's thesis, and the swimming pool was only open at certain times. To stay fit, I started running. And in 2005, December, I got offered a job in New York. So I moved to New York, started working, and at that time in America, the biggest craze was to run a marathon. So in 2006, to give you an example, Oprah Winfrey ran her first marathon. Lance Armstrong ran his first marathon with me in 2006, New York City. I was a middle distance to long distance swimmer for most of my swimming career. Towards the last bit, the last year, 2 years, I started doing short distance. So I was always intrigued and I always had the body mechanics to do long distance running. In 2007, as luck would have it, I was offered a job in Boulder, Colorado. And Boulder, Colorado is considered to be the mecca of triathlon. It is said that in Boulder, Colorado, the only two things people discuss is what workout you did on the weekend or which peak you hiked on the weekend. There's nothing else. It has been the fittest city in America, along with Boise, Idaho, for the last, I think, 20 years. And in 2007, I was sitting in a hot tub with some friends, and they had just come back from Kona, Hawaii, from doing the World Championships. And they were telling me that, look, there's this race called an Ironman. You already have a great swim background. You've already run a few marathons. Why don't you take part in an Ironman race? And in 2008, when I started doing my research, there was no Indian who had done an Ironman race. So it seemed like a real good idea to challenge myself. Plus, it would have been a great honor for me to be the first Indian to do this race as well. I'm often asked that, you've done so many races. What does an Ironman give you? The easiest answer, it does put a big hole in your pockets. It's not a cheap race, but I'll share 3 anecdotes amongst the many this great race has given me. The first one is discipline. It's made me very, very disciplined. And when I talk about discipline, it's not just about my exercise habits. So for an Ironman race, it's very, very simple. If you do the work, the likelihood of you finishing that race is much higher. I know a lot of athletes, some who I have trained and some who I see on social media, they do not do the work, or they only do 1 or 2 days of the week, and the rest they slack off, and then they land off not finishing the race. So there's this discipline that it has brought to finish your workout. Especially after moving to India, I know that if I don't get my morning workout done, so whether it's a run or a bike, we all know the traffic situation. I don't have to tell you anything specific about it. So if you don't do it in the morning, more than likely you're not going to have the option of getting your workout done. Similarly, Ironman is, like I said, swimming, cycling, and running. But you still have to do strength training. You still have to do yoga. You still have to do meditation. So there's days in the week where I'm doing 2 or 3 of these disciplines. So I'll do a run in the morning, take a little break, do a little cycle from, let's say, 10 to 11 in the morning, and I still have a third workout left. So right now pools are closed. So a lot of times in the afternoon, I will either do core or body strength conditioning, or I will do a lot of deep stretching with yoga, or just plain passive stretching. The other way it's got me disciplined is in my eating habits. So it's okay to have a cheat meal once a while, but obviously if you want to sustain anything in life, your eating habits also change. And as an athlete, the most important thing is to stay injury free, and as we know, especially in the last year, to keep your immune system ready. With any exercise, especially the kind of intense exercise we do, your immunity levels will drop. That's just natural, and a great way to combat it is by eating. I don't follow any fancy diets. I know I don't do any of this low carb, high fat, high protein. I just manage my protein intake. I manage exactly the amount of calories I need, and I balance them out how I want them. I spread them out during the day. And like I already said, once a week, also I do have a cheat meal, and there's nothing wrong in treating yourself with that. The other way it's made me disciplined is with sleeping habits. And rest and recovery is very, very important, not just to an Ironman athlete, any athlete, but to all of us. And if you're not getting 6 to 7 hours of sleep, more than likely that body clock fatigue is going to catch up to you. And when you have to go on the road at on average 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm usually in bed by 9:15, and my lights are off most times between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. These traits, these discipline traits I've had for the last 20 some years now. So as far as I remember, from 1995 to now. And so there's a particularly small percentage of people, one, who go back and finish an Ironman after their first one. And there's an even smaller percentage that do 5, that do 10. And then there's only a handful of us in the world who have done 25 Ironmans. So the secret sauce, if you want to achieve anything in life, is to master your discipline. The other thing Ironman has taught me is to problem solve, and this is a great life skill to have. I like this quote by Jesse Owens that says, we all have dreams, but in order to make dreams become a reality, it takes an awful lot of determination, dedication, self-discipline, and effort. What it doesn't talk about is how, as an athlete, you're always problem solving. And I had qualified for the Ironman World Championship in 2017. I had a guaranteed slot for October. I had done every single thing right. I had gone to the US. I left in June, stayed there for almost 4 months, trained very, very hard in St. Louis. I was ready to go for the Ironman race, and I wanted my world to be my best ever. The lot top, which means very, very high. I finished the swim in anywhere between 50 to 52 minutes. On that day, it took me 56 minutes. But the problem was it's not just 4 extra minutes. What had happened was I had landed up drinking a lot of seawater, and seawater can make you sick, which is what happened to me. Kona, Hawaii is brutally hot because you have volcanic effects as well. On average, race day temperatures can be anywhere between 43 degrees Celsius to as high as 50 degrees Celsius. I was battling two elements. One, my bike was broken on the transit, so I had flown from Pune to St. Louis and then St. Louis to Kona. And in the transit, my bike had a part that was broken. I had a sponsor for my bike at that time, which was Scott. And so I was compelled to race in only that bike. I didn't have an option not to ride another bike. So when I got out of the water, one way seawater nausea can hit you is that it will not allow you to keep any nutrition inside. So whatever you ingest, whether it's solid food or liquid food, electrolyte drink, water, it all started coming out. When you start throwing up or vomiting, over a period of time, your body starts shutting down. It starts getting very, very dehydrated. So you're causing two issues. One, you're not able to put anything in the system to hydrate, and yet the heat is just sucking out all the potassium and salt. And then you start getting abdominal cramps, and you start cramping all over the body. Around 120, 130 kilometers, I experienced excruciating cramps, and that's the time when Kona starts getting very, very hot, and the back end of the race is built such that there's a lot of climbs, so there's a lot of rolling that one has to endure as well. Can you imagine being in the World Championships where you've trained very, very hard in the past? You're supposed to have the best day of your life. It's a moment of truth because you're the only Indian who has qualified, and you're having the worst day of your life. Had I not been able to problem solve, I probably would not have finished. So I kept on telling myself, it's okay. Just get to the finish line. Just get to the finish line of the bike. And I kept on pedaling, and it took me almost 7 hours, 20 minutes. I was able to get off the bike, and I couldn't even run after leaving my bike to change my clothes and change into my running shoes, which meant the next 42.2 kilometers were going to be a long walk. Fortunately, I had a fairly decent swim and a fairly decent bike, so I had ample time. I knew I just had to adjust my expectations, which meant I was not going to go for a personal best or a PR, which is what we athletes call. My goal that day became just to finish. And to problem solve, I had a friend. I made a friend because he was struggling as well. We started running one lamp post to the other. We used to run one lamp post, then walk, and we kept on doing it for 40 odd kilometers. Both of us making sure that we took at least some electrolytes, some salt, some gel, some bananas, and we were both able to see the finish line that day. So important that it teaches you is that don't let failures bog you down. The Ironman Hawaii Kona was my 19th finish. After that, I have gone and done 6 more events. On that day, particularly, I saw a lot of my friends who stopped. They did not finish. It was just too tiring. The conditions were just too much against them. And one great thing this race has taught me is that even on your worst day, if you are true to yourself, if you stay calm and composed, and if you're really passionate, you will be able to find a way. And it's a great lesson in life as well that like Mike Tyson always says, everyone has a plan till you get punched in the face. And on that day, I got punched in the face, but I did not get knocked down. I'll leave you with another quote by the great Ken Robinson, is that if you're not prepared to be wrong, you'll never come up with anything original. And it's important to have that at the back of your mind, is that even with training, there's moments that we all have to doubt ourselves, but that's the way you grow. Those little failures you have in whatever you do set you up for the big wins later on down the road. The third thing, and that has been a common trait of mine from a very, very young age, is mindset. And mindset is not just something that you do on race day, right? It's the commitment to start, but more importantly, it's the consistency. So when I started swimming, I always knew there were athletes, some of who were my friends. They were much more talented than me. But I was, like I said, willing to be much more consistent. I was willing to work harder than anyone else in the room. And once you start tasting success, life can take you two ways. It's the good athletes that say, okay, I'm going to be true to myself and I'm going to keep on going on this path. And I was fortunate enough that I had great friends, great family who allowed me to stay on that path, to keep the distractions at bay. And that was the reason why, from 1995 to 2000, I was Indian national champion, for all those years. Similarly, in Ironman, it's that commitment that I have, that I have to do this, that makes the difference in finishing 1 and finishing 25. So my mindset also allowed me to sort of, although it was said that I started RAD-IRX when I first moved to India in 2013. I started RAD-IRX, where I used to help patients with heart disease or cancer in their rehab. The idea was to get them back to where they were before the disease hit them, and obviously improve their quality of life. But as soon as people started finding out that, by that time I had done 7 Ironmans, someone who's done 7 Ironmans, run over 20 marathons, has moved back to India, moved back to Pune, I started getting a lot of coaching requests. And so although I had started coaching in 2010 by just helping a few athletes, I formally launched RadStrong Coaching in 2014. And just to give you a perspective, in 2014, I had one athlete who was training with me for an Ironman. Now, at any given point, I have anywhere between 50 to 80 athletes who are training for another 30, 40 who are training for a half Ironman or triathlons. Currently, I think I am at 185 trainees worldwide. Some of them are training for their first 1K, some of them training for their first 5K, some for their 10K. And then obviously, since triathlon, Ironman is my specialty, majority of them are now training for an Ironman race. Over 100 of my athletes have finished an Ironman race. My 100th athlete finished in Taupo, New Zealand earlier in the year. He was one of the fortunate ones who got to do a race this year. And just this past Sunday, one of my athletes in the US, Rick Turner, he became 101st athlete that he finished a full Ironman in Tulsa, Oklahoma. At RadStrong Coaching, I have over 500 plus athletes who have finished, a half Ironman, plus 500 plus who have finished at least a half marathon or a full marathon. I always tell people that I'm one of the most lucky people in the world, that I have been able to convert my passion, which was sports, into my profession. Make no mistake, it has not been easy to get from one athlete to 10 athlete, to get from 10 athletes to 100 athletes has been a long journey. All journeys, obviously have their ups and downs. भाई इधर बोल रहा है.
थोडासा
So-
तरी ऑडिओ चालू आहे, प्लीज बंद करता का?
So it's not been an easy journey, right? In this social media world, it's very easy that I know coaches put numbers, but what is hidden is the amount of hard work that goes beyond these numbers. For example, when I did the Comrades Ultra Marathon in 2016, nobody had thought that anyone could finish Comrades Marathon on full Ironman training. And I was quite confident not only would I finish, but I would be able to finish it under 9 hours. And 9 hours would give you the prestigious Bill Rowan medal. So on that day, I was so focused that I was able to finish it in 8 hours and 47 minutes. And it started that having a mindset that, you know what, nobody's done it. I want to be the first one to do it. In a selfish way, because obviously you want to be the first at everything, but in a non-selfish way, because at the end of the day, as coaches, we are trying to get our athletes to break down mental barriers. And if you break a mental barrier, there's 100 other athletes who may not necessarily be training with you, have that optimism, have that energy to work hard and to achieve, whatever you may have achieved. When I was setting records in swimming, I always thought that, if I have a record which lasts 12, 14 years, that means the sport is not really progressing in the way it should be. And it's the same I feel with Ironman as well, is that, I have 25 Ironmans. The person closest to me living in India, I think has done 9 or 10, if I'm not mistaken. But to get to 25, someone is going to have to work very hard. And I hope, I don't know what number I will go to. Maybe I'll go to 27, maybe I'll go to 30. I plan to keep on doing one race a year till my body allows me to. But I hope there is an Indian athlete who hopefully I train will do 50 Ironman races. And I hope that through my little talk today, I've given some of you tools that you can achieve anything you want in life. So with that, I will stop talking, and then if you have any questions, I think that there's already a couple in the chat box that I'll be happy to answer.
Can I ask you, Kaustubji?
Yeah.
I think what I was hearing from you, it was just amazing, and
Thank you.
very proud that you are an Indian who could achieve so much. But my question is, like, what is next? I mean, what do you really want to achieve in future? Because I think you have been training, of course, that's what I could understand. But what else would you be interested in besides training the children?
See, the ultimate dream is to get an Indian triathlete to win a medal at the 2026 Commonwealth Games. And so I've just become part of the Indian Triathlon Federation, where I'm going to come on the coaching and mentoring side. Triathlon as a sport has a lot of scope in India, but unfortunately, it's still not a fashionable sport. So if you were to ask me, that would be one of my goals. Like I said, for me personally, I don't know. Something will come up. I'm not sure what that is. The last year I was able to do one Ironman. This year again, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens given the situation. Will we be able to travel, not travel? So yeah, I want to keep going as long as my body and my mind allows me to go.
Thanks.
कोणालाही मराठीमध्ये प्रश्न विचारायचा असेल तरी जरूर विचारा, कारण म्हणजे उत्तर जरी इंग्लिशमध्ये त्यांनी दिलं तरी मराठीत प्रश्न जरूर विचारू.
I'm Shashank Wagh, friend of Raja Patil, your father-in-law. I'm
Okay.
asking in English because there are many out-of-state people are also there. Can you roughly spell out how much money one requires to follow this kind of passion?
I don't think there's a. I mean, if you're passionate about something, money doesn't matter, right?
No, that is
Honestly
correct.
speaking,
But
yeah.
suppose
I mean, I think
suppose I want to pursue my grandchild to this, then I should know my limitation that okay, suppose I am coaching, putting him to cricket, I know that it will take 5,000, 10,000 per month. Tennis, it may take 15,000. So like that, if he has to ultimately pursue from swimming graduated to trying to be a marathon, this Ironman, it may take some few lakhs, some 50 lakhs, some ballpark figure if you can postulate.
yeah. I mean, I think it's very easy to say, okay, put a figure, right? Even with the two sports you mentioned, you're not really being honest to everyone, because a tennis racket can go anywhere from 5,000 to 50,000 plus. Tennis
Correct.
shoes can go from anywhere from 5,000 to 50,000 plus, and that's being replaced over and over. And
Correct.
I mean, budget. I mean, a simple number is budget 2 lakhs for an Ironman race. You may need it, you may not need it. But again, I always feel that if you go through this, if you go through the training for this race, and if you go through the race itself, um, your granddaughter, whoever it is going to be in a much better space in life than any of the sports you mentioned.
Thank you.
Hello, Shashank ji.
Yeah.
कौस्तुभ जी, सॉरी. हॅलो.
Yeah, yeah.
हॅलो. कौस्तुभ जी, वैभव खेत्रे बोलतोय. तुमची जर्नी खूपच मोटिवेशनल आहे. धन्यवाद सर्वप्रथम तुमची जर्नी शेअर केल्याबद्दल आम्हा सर्वांबरोबर. तुम्ही उत्तर इंग्लिशमध्ये देऊ शकता, काय हरकत नाही. माझे 3-4 प्रश्न आहेत. मीही थोडंफार धावतो, लाईक आता ह्या लॉकडाऊनच्या आधी एक 10K धावलो होतो. तर मला जाणून घ्यायचं की आठवड्यातून आपण किती धावायला पाहिजे साधारण. आठवड्यातून आपण साधारण किती धावलं पाहिजे जर आपल्याला एक फुल मॅरेथॉन करायची असेल, त्याचं काही एक समजा 6 महिन्यांनी वर्षभराने करायची असेल, तर तो स्टेप्स कशा असायला पाहिजे शॉर्टमध्ये?
Number one, I don't know anything about your history. I don't know how old you are. Do you have any injuries?
No.
So it's very difficult to answer again in a particular way. 6 months is what you should give it, at least if you have done half marathons. On average, any marathon training plan will make you run 4 to 5 days a week.
5 days per week. And every day, how much we should run? Like 10K or 5K?
See, again, it will vary what level you are, what goal time you have. It's not a straightforward answer.
तरी पण एक साधारण 5-6 किलोमीटरचा एक एव्हरेज आपण धावलो समजा, तर एक स्टॅमिना तेवढा डेव्हलप होऊ शकतो ना फॉर लाईक 6 months 7 लेटर साठी होऊ शकतो तसं. समजा डेली आपण एक 6-7-8 किलोमीटरचा एव्हरेज पकडला की एवढं किलोमीटर ऍटलीस्ट हॅव टू रन, तर होऊ शकतो का?
So on average, you should run 40 to 50 kilometers in a week.
ओके. तो वीकलीचं ते कॅल्क्युलेशन वी नीड टू.
That may help you.
ओके. अँड वेट एक्सरसाइज कशा असाव्यात? की वेट एक्सरसाइज कराव्यात का ह्या दरम्यान?
I think so. Yeah, there's other people who want to ask questions also. So we'll stick to one question per person.
ओके. Thanks a lot.
शकतात. असं झालं किंवा आपलं वय
Anyone else? No, then I'll answer his question, the weight training one. I think weight training is important for everyone, regardless you're doing Ironman or you're just living life, especially after the age 25, आपल्या बॉडी मधलं मसल मास कमी व्हायला लागतं. That's just natural aging. It's called atrophy. And the only way to combat it is with weight training. So if you see older people, especially 50-60चे जे लोक असतात, त्यांचे हिप फ्रॅक्चर, नी फ्रॅक्चर का होतात? सो त्याच्या मागचं मोठं कारण is की हाडं ठिसूळ व्हायला लागतात, or the muscle and joints are not able to take the weight, and routinely they slip and fall in the bathroom, and then next thing you know it, there's an ankle fracture, hip fracture, knee fracture. So the only way to avoid it is by doing some element of strength training. This strength training can be done in the gym. As again, last year has taught us, you don't necessarily have to go to the gym. You can do body weight exercises at home, very, very simple exercises. And there's hundreds of YouTube videos for all levels that anyone can do.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot.
एक प्रश्न चॅटबॉक्स मध्ये आहे की कुठल्या वयापासून मुलांना ट्रेनिंग द्यायला पाहिजे?
See, the earlier you start, the better, obviously. And त्याला आम्ही ट्रेनिंग नाही म्हणत, we call them exposing to sport. So I have started a batch for athletes who are as young as 10, and we are just giving them a taste of swimming at the swimming badai, obviously, but the goal is swimming, cycling, and running. So there's no real age that one can start. If you work with a good coach, he will know exactly at what age he can start pushing the athletes in terms of intensity and distance. And where can you go open water swimming in Pune? You can't really go open water swimming in Pune. It's not that safe.
हॅलो.
Yeah.
अमृता अकलूजकर, तुम्हाला मिळालं का उत्तर याचं?
हॅलो, मी शरद कुंभार बोलतोय.
या थँक्यू.
Yeah.
तुमच्या अकॅडमीचा ऍड्रेस शेअर करू शकता का कौस्तुभजी?
मी पोस्ट केलाय. ओके.
हॅलो सर.
या
सर, मी शरद कुंभार बोलतोय. मी मे 19 मध्ये व्हिएतनामला 70.3 आयर्नमॅन कंप्लीट केली. तर फुल
ओके,
आयर्नमॅन
व्हेरी
करायची
गुड.
इच्छा आहे. तर मला किती आठवड्यांचं व्यवस्थित ट्रेनिंग घ्यावं लागेल माझा व्यवसाय वगैरे सांभाळून?
Again, depends व्हिएतनामला किती वेळ आला, what what weakness was, पण probably 6 to 9 months. And I am assuming just like everyone else, तुम्ही काय पोहलेला नाहीये from last year, and you've probably done limited cycling and running because of the restrictions. So probably 6 to 9 months is what you should give yourself at least. And I'm saying at least.
Yeah, correct.
कारण तुम्ही म्हणला तसं, I don't know about your business, also how busy you are, how much time you can dedicate your family life. So all of these things you need to account for. The 6 to 9 months is a good enough window.
बाय प्रोफेशन मी सिव्हिल इंजिनियर कॉन्ट्रॅक्टर आहे आणि व्हिएतनामला मी 7.5 तासात मी कंप्लीट केलं होतं. ते माझं पहिलंच हाफ आयर्नमॅन होतं.
मग 6 to 9 months should be sufficient.
थँक्यू सर.
मला एक प्रश्न विचारायचा आहे कौस्तुभ. काय आहे हे सगळं आम्ही ऐकतो, म्हणजे तुझ्या एवढ्या रेसेस किंवा हे कोणाचं म्हणजे वर्ल्ड चॅम्पियनशिप, तर ह्याच्यासाठी, आणि तू सुद्धा म्हणलास की ह्याच्यासाठी खूप जास्त मेंटल आपल्याला स्ट्रेंथ लागते किंवा प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्विंग ॲबिलिटी लागते. जसं तुला काही त्रास झाला आणि तू ते सॉल्व्ह केलंस, तर बाकीच्यांनी आम्ही काय करायचं? म्हणजे आम्ही अशा पद्धतीचं जर काही लॉंग टर्म काही करायचं असेल किंवा फॉर दॅट मॅटर एखादी मॅरेथॉन पळायची असेल, तर त्यासाठी पॉझिटिव्ह ॲटिट्यूड म्हणा किंवा जी विल पॉवर आमची अजून वाढवण्यासाठी आम्ही काय करायचं, की आयर्नमॅन पळण्यासाठी कदाचित आम्ही मोस्ट ऑफ अस या ज्या प्लॅटफॉर्मवरचे तयार नसू. पण काही छोट्या-छोट्या त्यातल्या गोष्टी सगळ्यांनाच करायला आवडतायत. बऱ्याच लोकांनी तुला तसे प्रश्नही विचारले. तर त्यांना तू काय सांगू शकशील, की त्यांनी ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टींसाठी अपार्ट फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग काय करावं?
Yeah, I mean, I think first of all have a goal. So goal set करणं खूप महत्वाचं आहे. So try and keep it as realistic as possible. You know, if you're running 1 kilometer, try and set a goal of 5 kilometers. And there has to be an element of challenge to it. आणि मग त्या चॅलेंज मधनच यू विल लर्न what is working for you, what is not working for you. मग ती नॅचरल डिसिप्लिन येईल. पण just like everything else, you have to be ready to experience some failures as well. की although your goal may be to run 5 kilometers and in a month's time you are only able to run 2 kilometers, there will be days where you are not even able to run 2 kilometers. तर तिकडे your mental strength has to come and say की नाही बाबा, उद्या मी जाऊन ते परत ट्राय करणार आहे. And so you keep on trying and you keep on trying, and then I'm pretty sure ki, just for an example, if your goal is to run 5 kilometers in 3 months, you will be able to achieve it. Mistake लोकांचे असे होते की they only think of it as that activity जे त्याचं goal achieve करायचं, whether it is running or cycling or swimming, whatever it is. They forget all the other elements which I mentioned. So proper diet, proper rest and recovery, and then trying to live a very stress free, or keep stress as much as you can away. Although exercise is a good stress, we have a lot of things going on the side, especially in the last year, that do cause stress, that do cause anxiety. And unfortunately, manage karala Netflix, TV, or social media is not the answer. So you need to find something that works for you. And I think there's 50 odd people here. Everyone will have something that works for them, which may not work for the next person. Someone may want to use music, someone may want to use yoga, someone may want to use meditation, whereas someone may want to use running as a stress busting tool. So plan your goal in a way that you are mentally strong enough to overcome any hurdle that life will throw.
आणि एनी स्पेशल थिंग लाईक आता तुझ्याकडे से 500 ऑड ट्रेनीज आहेत ऑल ओव्हर, तर अशा पद्धतीचे त्यांना पण काही हर्डल्स येत असतील किंवा त्यांना पण मध्ये मध्ये कुठेतरी की हे मी नाही करू शकत आहे का, किंवा मी करू शकीन का नाही, किंवा मी आयर्नमॅन करीन का नाही, कारण अवघडच रेस ती आहे. तर अशा वेळेला त्यांच्यासाठी तू काय करतोस, म्हणजे व्हॉट काइंड ऑफ ऍडवाइस किंवा मोटिवेशन तू त्यांना देतोस?
See, think you know me for a very, very long time, so you're probably going to laugh when I say this. So as a coach and as a mentor, obviously training plan बनवणं काय फार अवघड नाही. लोक काय इंटरनेटवरनं डाउनलोड करून पण ट्रेनिंग करू शकतात. पण as a coach and a mentor, your experience and your education counts. So I come in and I take in bird's eye view की what is working, what is not working. काही ऍथलीट्स आहेत ज्यांना खूप अँझायटी येते. आणि इफ यू नो मी, मलाही आधी रेसेसच्या आधी, स्विमिंग रेसेसच्या आधी टेन्शन यायचं. So I have found ways that I can relax myself. So I tell them, try this technique, whatever that is. But most importantly, as coach or mentor, it's important to keep everyone calm. Especially in the last year, ki lockdown झालं, some people were not able to run. Some obviously nobody was able to swim. So मग आता आमच्या Ironman races काय होणार? मग I've invested so much money in training, so much time in training, मी आता सोडूनच देतो. So trying to get people to understand कि it's okay. This is something beyond our control. And I'm going through it with you as well. Even I want to do my 26th race. So this is the biggest role I have had to play in the last year.
येस, बरोबर. एनी क्वेश्चन्स? कोणाला अजून काही प्रश्न विचारायचे? मला असं वाटतं की नाहीये कोणाला विचारायचे प्रश्न. ओके, सो मला असं या सगळ्या ह्याच्यातनं वाटतं की आपल्याला म्हणजे त्या कौस्तुभचं आयर्नमॅन आणि त्याचं पॅशन आणि त्यांनी जे काही केलं ते कदाचित आपण नाही काही करू शकणार. आणि आत्ताचा आमचा जो माइंड जिमचा वयोगट आहे तो 40 ते 75 असा आहे. पण मला असं वाटतं आपल्या डे टू डे लाईफमध्ये त्यांनी जे जे काही सांगितलेलं आहे, छोटे छोटे गोल्स करणं, ते अचीव करण्याचा प्रयत्न करणं, तो गोल थोडासा वाढवून पुढे बघणं आणि ह्या पद्धतीने पुढे जाणं, स्वतःची काळजी घेणं, हे तर आपल्याला अनेक लोकांनी या प्लॅटफॉर्मवरती सांगितलंय की स्वतःचा आहार, विहार, झोप आणि एंटरटेनमेंट याच्याकडे लक्ष देणं आणि सगळ्या गोष्टी पॉझिटिव्हली बघणं. मला असं वाटतं की कौस्तुभनी हे मेन्शन नाही केलंय, पण हा खूप महत्वाचा भाग त्याच्यामध्ये असू शकतो की जेव्हा आपण कुठलीही ऍक्टिव्हिटी पॅशननी करतो तेव्हा आपण वर्तमानात असतो. वी लिव्ह इन प्रेझेंट आणि ती प्रेझेंट मुमेंट आपल्याला सकारात्मकता देत असते आणि ती पॉझिटिव्हिटी आपल्याला खरं तर काम करते आपली, असं मला वाटतं. आणि म्हणून आपण सगळ्यांनीच पाहिलं पाहिजे की आपण जितके स्वतःला स्वतःमध्ये एंगेज करून घेऊ तितकी पॉझिटिव्हिटी अधिक असू शकते, मिळू शकते. तर आपल्याला आज कौस्तुभनी हेच सांगितलं असं मला वाटतं. तर कौस्तुभ, मनापासून धन्यवाद आमच्या ह्या माइंड जिम वरती आल्याबद्दल आणि खूपच प्रेरणादायी असं स्पीच आम्हाला दिल्याबद्दल मनापासून धन्यवाद. याचं रेकॉर्डिंग आहे आणि त्यांनी आता आपल्या चॅटबॉक्स मध्ये त्याची साईट टाकलेली आहे, ती तुम्ही बघितली तरी हरकत नाही. आणि हे रेकॉर्डिंग तुम्हाला मिळेल 1-2 दिवसांमध्ये. तर जरूर ते परत एकदा ऐकावं, ते परत एकदा बघावं असं मला वाटतं. तर मनापासून धन्यवाद. आता आपण इथे थांबूया. कोणाला काही विचारायचंय का? अरुण टिपसे, तुम्हाला काही विचारायचंय? अरुण टिपसे, ओके. तर आपण इथे थांबूयात आणि पुढल्या महिन्यामध्ये असाच एक वेगळा विषय घेऊन आपण भेटणार आहोत. तर धन्यवाद आणि या सगळ्या महिन्यातल्या सर्व आपल्या स्पीकर्ससाठी मनापासून धन्यवाद. आणि हे खरंच खूप प्रेरणादायी होतं सगळंच. हा महिनाच खूप छान गेला आणि प्रेरणादायी होता, त्याबद्दल धन्यवाद. कौस्तुभ, मनापासून आभार.
Thank you. Yes, anytime.
थँक्यू.